Hello, I'm Cobalt,
And I'm Bomet.
and welcome to Inventors Fair. All I have for intro right now is a blacksmith hammer noise and then a goblin laughing. So on this podcast, we're going to talk about card design and redesign. But first, we're going to talk about what we've been playing this week and building this week. So, Bomat, what have you been playing / building this week for Magic?
So this week I've been playing around on Magic Arena, especially Standard. I was trying to make an Explorer deck work in Standard, a blue-green Explorer deck because of the new Caverns of Ixalan. Went okay. So far that deck is like a 2 out of every 5, so could be worse. But I'm not actually improving in my rankings, so I'm going to have to switch up what I've done with it.
I've got bad news for you. My Explore deck has been going great. This week I've also been playing a blue-green Explore deck, but it's actually Merfolk is what it is. It's Merfolk Explorer, and then it's got like the elusive otter from Wilds of Eldraine. It's got an adventure side that you pay a green and X and you distribute counters among creatures, and then the creature side is an otter that costs 1 and it has prowess, and it's unblockable by creatures with less power than it. So I keep playing like these little creatures that explore. I put down deep root exploration where it like makes Merfolk tokens. Veldalian Hexcatcher that gives all Merfolk +1/1, and then you can also counter spells using its ability. So I use the Merfolk tokens I make off of the deep root exploration, and I counter people's stuff using the Merfolk token. I've ranked up twice in the last week. So
that sounds a lot more effective than what I've been doing, yes.
But I haven't been playing a ton, which is why I've only ranked up twice in the last week. But I also have still been playing my Boros aggro deck, Ash, Party Crasher, and Monastery Swift Spears and stuff.
Something low to the ground with haste is pretty much. Yeah. The thing that I actually do rank up with is a mono red burn deck with Monastery Swift Sphere and the burn spell that you can convoke that's 2 and 2 red. That was a reprint.
The other thing I've been building is a paper deck for it must have been my 9,000 follower giveaway. I gave away a 4-color deck that was Warnog and Cecily, the Stranger Things Universes Within cards. I had so much fun building that deck, and then I gave it away, and so I took a bunch of cards I already had, and I bought another set of those commanders, and I bought some other cards for it, and I'm going to go play with my playgroup tonight, and I'm hoping to break this out and see how it goes. You played against it. We played with our brothers in the morning. I don't remember if I won, but I know I took extra turns. There's less extra turns in this version.
That's a good game. I don't know if I won, but I know I took extra turns. My favorite commander deck that I've been playing recently is technically a historic brawl deck, but is Vadric Astral Archmage, which I played against you last night when we were messing around. And that one's built all around getting his power really big and defending him, and then just playing giant sorceries and instants and X spells. I drew like more than 7 cards like 3 times.
Yeah.
It was great.
That's the best thing you can do. Pull from Tomorrow, right? Pull from Tomorrow is the spell that you use multiple times.
I cast Pull from Tomorrow twice
for 17 cards in total off of that one card.
Yeah.
It was impressive. It was awesome.
I love in that deck playing cards like Rewind, where if you get a discount, it like untaps more mana than you use for it. That's one of my favorite little things that goes into it.
Casual.
It makes my Is It Heart very happy. Turns out it's good.
Yeah, turns out untapping lands is very good. Great. So now we're going to get into a little bit more of the design conversation for this episode. And we decided the first episode we were going to talk about making our favorite non-legendary creature cards into commanders. So theoretically how we would be able to play them as commanders for our decks. What card have you picked, Bomat?
I picked Bomat Courier to turn to a commander because why wouldn't I with my namesake card? Alright, so my idea is obviously it would be a legendary artifact creature. My idea is for essentially make lots of little Bomat couriers.
Okay.
So I was thinking I was thinking that this one would be named something funny. It would be like a designation more than a name. So like B-23, Bomat,
Home ship.
and then I put Parcel Master.
Parcel master. Okay. I get it, because the little courier takes the packages.
And we can talk about mana cost in a second, but let me tell you what I think about what this card would do.
Okay.
And essentially, what I'm thinking is that whenever you discard one or more cards, you create a little Bomat Courier. But the problem with Bomat Courier when it's a singular one is that it exiles something underneath it, and then you have to. It's only one at a time, and you can only use that Bomat Courier to get cards exiled with that Bomat Courier. So the way that I would get around it is that when it attacks, for those of you who don't know what Bomat Courier does, when you attack with a Bomat Courier, it exiles a card underneath it, and then you can pay 1 red to discard your hand and then retrieve all the cards exiled with it. It's a little 1/1 with haste.
Yeah.
So the token it would create is a 1/1 artifact creature token. Whenever this creature attacks, exile the top card of your library face down with a parcel counter on it.
Okay.
And then you can pay 1 red to sacrifice it, discard your hand, and put into your hand all cards exiled with parcel counters on them. So all of your Bomat Couriers would be going out, exiling things with parcel counters on them. And then you could sacrifice any of them to discard your hand and get all of the ones that this little network of Bomat Couriers has gone and retrieved for you.
Nice.
So the idea would be whenever you discard a card, you would create one of these. Well, or the first time you discard a card every turn.
Each turn, so including on your opponent's
you could
turns.
Yeah.
I like that.
What do you think?
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. I like the idea of creating little tokens and a little network, and you got like this home base. Overseer, Parcel Master is a fun name.
So I was thinking for a power and toughness and mana cost, I was thinking that one, it has to incorporate red because the Bomat Couriers need red mana. But otherwise, I was thinking that it would also be an artifact. So maybe something along the lines of, I'm thinking now that this might be a lot of text for a card, and that maybe I need to rethink how I'm going to do this.
It's all good.
But he could just be a red artifact creature.
Yeah, easy.
It could be just 2 in a red for an artifact creature. I was thinking he would still be pretty small and maybe bigger defensively than he is offensively, and he's almost like a robot that is part of a desk. Like he's just there, and he's got this big board of all of the packages that have to go everywhere, and there's just like Bomat Couriers like spilling out from behind the desk, and he's grabbing things and handing them to them, and they're running off. Power and toughness would be something like a 1/3 or a 1/4, where his actual power is not very high. He's not an offensive thing. It's all about attack power is not something he's good at. I almost gave him defender because he's like literally a desk in my brain.
Right, yeah.
But I wasn't. Wasn't sure.
Nice. Yeah, I like that a lot. I like the idea that it can send out the creatures, and the creatures, it doesn't matter if they hit or not. It's just the attack, just like Bomat Courier. So the tokens, are they called like Courier, or are they called Bomat Courier? Because technically, if you call it Bomat Courier, it should have all the text of the original.
It would have to say just Courier. It would have to just be Courier tokens that are 1/1 artifact tokens with haste, and then they have the alternate text so that you can
get the partial counter. Yeah, I like that. So does Parcel Master also have the pay 1 red, tap, and sacrifice ability? Like as additionally, or is it just the tokens?
That's a good question, because there's also an argument to be made that the tokens don't have that text, and the Parcel Master has that text, where you sacrifice him, and then you get all of the things that are there. So I actually kind of maybe like that more, as far as having a bunch of little things with the sacrifice text is weird. Versus having one thing with it makes more sense. Maybe it's sacrifice 3 artifacts. And discard your hand, and then he's 3 colorless. But the activated ability is like pay 1 red, sacrifice 3 artifacts.
Discard your
discard,
hand.
and then you don't even technically have to sacrifice the courier tokens. You can sacrifice any artifacts that you've amassed.
And that gives you more to build around for the whole deck, right? Like you can add in different artifacts that you get benefit from sacrificing and stuff like that. Yeah, start sacrificing.
So it'd be like a cycling artifact deck.
Yeah, cycling artifact stuff. Yeah, I like that. I think that'd be sweet. Yeah. The card that I picked to make into a commander is Trading Post. This is a artifact from I think its first printing was. It might be M13, which is the one that I have here, but I actually don't know. It's an artifact for 4 mana that says pay 1, tap, discard a card, you gain 4 life. Pay 1, tap, pay 1 life. You put a 0/1 goat creature token into the battlefield. Pay 1, tap, sacrifice a creature, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Pay 1, tap, sacrifice an artifact, draw a card. So it you're trading stuff in and everything. I was thinking of a fairly linear translation for this card as far as this is my artist proof. I've talked about it in my videos a couple times. It's signed by Adam Paquette, the original artist, and it's got a sketch on the back. So I was picturing just having this guy as the artwork. He's there at the trading post. I'd call him Darius the Trader or something like that. And
Postmaster. He could be Postmate.
He's the Postmate, yeah. And but then basically, I think he would be. It feels like a fairly white ability, like the changing stuff, but it's also So I think what I would do is make it 3 into white for a 4/4 human. What's a creature type that fits for Advisor? Yeah, Advisor's good. Or what's Subira, the red? She's like the nomad.
Is she a merchant? I was thinking.
Is that a creature type? Is merchant a creature type?
I don't know. Let me ask the tome of many things.
Let's ask Scryfall. Shaman. She's a shaman.
I was going to say it might have been shaman. There's also citizen, peasant.
Oh, citizen's not bad. I might go with shaman. It kind of fits the vibe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I
think shaman's good.
Yeah, maybe a 3/4. So 3 into white for a 3/4 human shaman that basically has these abilities. Is that too boring? What do we think could make that more interesting?
So, firstly, as far as color identity, there's a lot of black in here too.
I do agree
that part of
it's white. I just don't know if. But I was wondering because it feels like there's Finn the Broker, right? That has all those different abilities that you're paying life and stuff for, and it feels kind of like that, which is very black. Plus, you're sacrificing a creature to return an artifact. So it does feel
artifact restoration is white too. That makes sense. Creating the goat tokens is white.
Yeah. Gaining life is white. But sacrificing a creature, paying life, that's pretty black.
Discarding cards.
Discarding card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if the vibe fit for an Orja for a white and black creature, but there's no reason it couldn't.
So it could be kind of a weird Orja creature that you're oh, that's interesting. I think the problem that you're gonna face at 4 mana, which is sometimes the problem I have with Trading Post too.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive.
Although Trading Post is an artifact, so sometimes it alleviates part of that.
Yeah,
is that you'll put it down on turn 3 or 4, and then it'll just die. If it's on a creature, then you can't use it immediately.
Yeah,
is the biggest problem.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So what if it's a black and 2 white for a 3/4 creature?
That's a little easier for me. But no, I do like that. I do think
what we could also do is it's supposed to be like a cycle, right? Where you can discard a card, gain life. I was thinking you could cut off that first ability and give it lifelink for the life gain instead of having. But then you're kind of messing up the cycle where you draw a card, discard a card, gain life, pay life, sacrifice a creature, make a creature.
But you know what? I kind of like the idea of leaning into the fact that it is a creature instead of it being an artifact. So maybe the fact that it enters the battlefield and it brings a goat with it.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Or 2 goats. So even if it gets killed immediately, you have the goats.
Here.
And then
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
And then I do like the idea of giving it something like lifelink. I think for the other ones, you don't remove them, but I want to hear what your thoughts are.
No, I was just thinking I like the idea of leaning into the fact it's a creature. It's at the trading post, right? It's like running the trading post or whatever. So you could keep the sacrifice an artifact to draw a card, or sacrifice a creature to return a creature from your grave, or an artifact from your graveyard to your hand. But you get rid of the making a goat and the gaining life by discarding a card, and you give it vigilance and lifelink, so it can attack and still activate an ability.
I think that's good. I love vigilance and activated abilities. It's one of my favorite combos. I do love that. I like the idea of leaning into the fact that it's a creature to gain life instead of having it discard.
I would love to talk about it more. We're running out of time and space at the moment. My computer's warning me that I have recorded too many videos, so I think that's probably what we've got time for today. But thanks for chatting with me about all this, and I'm excited to hopefully do this some more in the future. It's really fun to talk about card design. I especially love talking about it with you and talking about the game. Obviously, we both love this game a lot. You're a big reason of why I'm so into it. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and thanks for doing this and introducing me to this great game.
You have a great day, and I look forward to seeing these cards final and mocked up.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't have a sign off yet, so there you go.